Good morning. Welcome to K Series Cybersecurity Lecture Notes. Today we will cover Basics of Computer Network Part 3, Network Protocols and Security Viewpoint. Now, what exactly protocol is? A protocol is a collection of rules, procedures or sequence for two devices to communicate and exchange information. Generally, a protocol also specifies the format in which the data gets exchanged. First protocol is Address Resolution Protocol. It is responsible for the mapping of IP address to the MAC address. Here sender's data link clear invokes ARP and gives destination IP address to ARP protocol. ARP caching is done and stored temporarily in ARP table locally. Now ARP from the attacker's perspective. See, an attacker may alter ARP table. This is called as ARP poisoning. Attacker's goal is to receive packets intended to be received by another computer. This is known as man in the middle attack. As you can see in the picture also, hop 1 and hop 2 are both are communicating, but in between the packet which was intended for hop 2 was cached by this particular attacker. Now, ARP's solution to attacker's view. Subnetting, a well-designed and segregated network, may help to prevent ARP poisoning. Then is encryption. It is possible to encrypt our traffic data, and this encrypted data cannot be easily deciphered. The third solution can be static ARPs. ARP table written statically does not need to be updated through requests or responses. And the next solution can be host-based intrusion detection systems, that is IDS. IDS embedded in our routers are likely to detect massive ARP requests, thereby assisting in blocking such attacks. Then is our dynamic host configuration protocol. This particular protocol is meant for network management, that is addressing. A DHCP server dynamically allocates an IP address along with a few other network configuration parameters to the requesting device on a network. The DHCP server creates and maintains a database of IP addresses and provides an address to a DHCP client while it comes on a network. As the IP addresses are dynamically leased, they no longer remain in use and get automatically assigned back to the database for further reassignment when request comes. Let me show you in the figure. See here, as this device is on the network, it sends the request for IP address to the DHCP server. DHCP server has its own IP address database. Now, when the request comes from the device, DHCP send back IP address to that particular device. This particular device sends request to the DHCP server for IP address selection. Again, the DHCP server sends the IP address acknowledgement. You can also install DHCP server for free from the internet to perform DHCP tasks. Now, from the attacker's view, how an attacker can attack this particular protocol. An attacker may attempt to respond to DHCP requests and trying to list himself as the default gateway. That is, here he can initiate a man in the middle attack. This is also known as DNS spoofing attack. DHCP servers usually get exploited for the man in the middle or denial of service attacks. One of the most common attack scenarios is an insider plugging in a consumer grade router at his desk without being mindful of the fact that the device being connected in a DHCP server itself. Or to counter such attacks, we can implement a security mechanism at layer 2 by typically embedding our operating systems with a good network switch. It is effective in dropping undesirable DHCP traffic. DHCP snooping primarily prevents an unauthorized DHCP server to offer IP addresses to DHCP clients connected onto the network. Embedding good network switch onto our operating system at layer 2, we can prevent DHCP snooping easily. Internet Control Message Protocol, used for reporting errors and queries for network management. Now, here the messages can be in the form of source quench, time exceeded, parameter problem, destination unreachable, redirectional messages. This particular protocol works at layer 3. Now, how can attacker attack on ICMP? We do have Smurf attack and Fragile attack for ICMP. Here in the Smurf attack, a hacker typically spoofs the source address of an ICMP packet. It then transmits it over to all the devices over the network. Networking devices fails to filter this traffic. Such a malicious traffic is broadcast to all computers in the network, and the victim's network becomes overloaded with traffic, which affects the productivity of the entire network. Fragile attack is the same like Smurf attack, but the only thing is here it is attacked at the UDP protocol. Counter such attacks, an IP address should be assigned to a LAN segment, and if the IP address of the source machine is not in the range of IP address that is assigned to the segment, then the traffic should be dropped. To counter such attacks, we need to put filter on our routers and firewalls for address spoofing. Browser-based attacks. In such attacks, a machine is compromised through a web browser. These attacks are often performed via authentic websites which have known vulnerabilities. Attackers breach the site and infect it with malicious scripts or processes. Now, to counter or to mitigate such attacks, system browser hardening and patching of browsers can be of help. Then is our denial of services attacks. Now, denial of service attack is when a target is overwhelmed with traffic, with floods of traffic, in fact. These attacks aim at slowing down or crashing the target by impacting its availability. We do have distributed denial of service attack as well, wherein the attack could be performed through multiple attack points. And the goal is same. The goal is same, that is to crash the target. Now, to counter such attacks, network segmentation, implementation of load balancers, firewalls can be of help. Malware attacks. Now, malware attacks, usually a malware is a bad software application that has been created to harm, hijack, lock or spy on the infected system. Malwares are triggered out by some of the user activity, such as plugging in a malicious USB device, inadvertently downloading a malicious attachment over the email, browsing infected or phished websites. To prevent malware attacks, we need anti-phishing solutions. Email sandboxing can be the solution. Browser integrating with anti-malware solutions can help us to keep such attacks at bay. Worm attacks. Now, worms Worms take advantage of system vulnerabilities in order to proliferate over the networks. These are malwares with the capability to propagate by themselves and do not require a user activity for getting triggered. For example, a famous ransomware outbreak in the year 2017 swiftly attacked multiple machines globally by exploiting a rampant Windows vulnerability. To prevent or to contain such outbreak of work, system hardening, security patching, usage of anti-malware, process monitoring systems can be of help. Now, web application attacks. Now, social media sites, web applications, and databases are very common victims of network security attacks. Most common web application attacks, apart from denial of services, are cross site scripting, SQL injection, path traversal. Physically triggered attacks, attacks to steal systems physically, that is, theft of devices such as laptops for unauthorized usage, insertion of rogue malicious devices into corporate network, placing rogue network enabled webcams into corporate network. Then is the scan attack. Scan attacks are where attackers typically use open source tools for scanning and finding public facing systems in order to gather details about the services. This is often a reconnaissance phase carried out before actual attack. We have two type of scanner attacks like port scanner. Port scanner is a tool employed to decipher open network ports on a target system. Different types of port scanners are available, out of which some allow goes silent. The next is vulnerability scanner. This tool scans and gathers information on a target. Nessus and Metasploit are free vulnerability scanning tools provided by Kali Linux. Then is the advanced persistent threats. Now, here the attacker seeks to gain an access to the target network and prevails there being undetected for a long period of time. Often such attacks stay dormant without making any noise, which means it hardly comes to the notice of network security monitoring devices. The prime intention of these attacks is to exfiltrate sensitive data and not to cause damage to the target network or organization. The early detection and prevention of attack progress is must to keep such attacks at bay. And the solutions can be complex multifold attack, a defensive mechanism per attack stage. These solutions can be of help to counter such threats. That's all in this video. In my next video, I will cover ethical hacking in detail. Thanks for watching.